go ahead and finish up here. Eric will be starting his tutorial on HyperMesh. For the assignment, there are some files. What were those help files loaded onto?
Yes, the help files were included with the lab documents that were sent out.
Okay. So for the BYU students, the help files are now included in the help documents. If the NTU students don't have these, let us know. We can email them out to you. But we have a couple of files that are HyperMesh files that you guys will open in HyperMesh, and we'll show you kind of how to do the tutorial. We'll show you where it's located. And then there are 2 assignments, I believe, right? Or is it just the one?
A couple. We'll go over.
Yeah, we'll go over that here in a sec. So
did everyone also get the email with the files bumper.hm and another one .hm? Yeah. Okay. Good. So you're gonna wanna. I guess you could do it right now, but we're gonna use that bumper.hm file. Just a quick thing again about the lab. So normally the way these labs are split up, they're split up into 2 parts. The first part is in-class exercises, which you do in class and you're supposed to turn in by the end of class. And then the second half are homework exercises, which you do if we finish all the in-class ones and you still have time, go ahead and get started on those. And then those are due before the next lab. So in this case, we're just going to make them all due next lab because we've done one part of the in-class exercises. Other parts are like you do the web call with everyone, get to know them. You go through all the steps. So, so I'm going to talk about number 1 on the homework exercises, the tutorials, and just give a quick overview of what HyperMesh is and how to use it. Basically, when you have a question before.
Should we be done with it? Do we have a reason to be on Skype email with them? Like, are we going to be working with them?
Not really. I guess not.
yeah. So
If you need to jump back on, so.
okay, well, if they should be logged into the Tenberg, so they should hear us
Yeah, there should be
through one of them if they're still on.
Okay, so HyperMesh is a program in a suite of programs called HyperWorks, and it's made by a company called Altair. They are finite element meshers and solvers, and they do other stuff like that.
Real quick, guys, HyperMesh is not very user-friendly, so I would highly recommend paying attention to this portion.
Yeah.
And anytime there's something about HyperMesh, it's a really awesome program, but it can be difficult to use. So,
Make sure that you're showing join that.
Oh yeah, sorry. Let me unlock that.
so we're going to be covering number 1 under the homework.
Now it's gone.
It's going to be an introduction for the HyperMesh tutorials.
Okay, so on the RGS blade in here at BYU, if you go into on the RGS, if you go to programs, and also if you guys want to follow along and join.me, I'm still have the conference up, 316-650-474, if you want to just watch what I'm doing, not on the projector but on the screen. So you find it's just programs, CAD programs, and then it's up in Altair HyperWorks 10, and then there's a lot of programs on this list here. The one we're going to use the most is HyperMesh. So I have HyperMesh opened here already. When you open it, it's going to pop up a little window that looks like this. Where'd it go? So it's going to pop up a little window that looks like this. User profiles.
Hang on one sec here. Do they not have audio?
Did they say they're not able to hear?
NTU students, are you not able to hear us?
No, they can't hear you.
They can't.
Are they still in on the Tenberg?
I can ask them. Hey, Alex Alston, are you guys still on the Tenberg?
They're not on the Tenberg. Okay, so they'll need
No,
to
they're
be.
getting back on now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, if you get back on there, they'll talk to you on there.
Yeah, we can give them a minute.
Okay.
Just let us know when they're up and if they can hear us.
Okay. They said there's crash, so they're gonna put it back up again.
Okay.
Should we just wait for them?
They're in, they said.
They're in. Can you guys hear us okay now?
Can you hear now, Alston?
Can you guys hear us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, great, thank you. So when you open up HyperMesh, it's probably going to pop up this user profiles window. So the default is usually what you want to select, but we're going to go into OptiStrike later in the semester as well. So for now, I'm just going to keep it on default. And so I'm going to basically go through the first one, HyperMesh Tutorial 1000. which is basically just says what is everything in here. So we have our menu bar up here, like most other programs have. We have our toolbars, which are up here on the side and around the graphics window here. And these are the panels down here. If you ever hear it reference the panels, this is what it's talking about. And so there are the main menu pages. So as you click on each of these radio buttons, it brings up a different set of panels. This one has to do with creating and editing geometry. This has to do with creating 1D elements, 2D elements, 3D elements, running analyses, and also other tools like we're going to show, and then post-processing as well right here. So and sometimes as well, if you click on one of these things, it'll go into something. Like if I want to go into nodes, it'll go into this window about nodes and stuff. And then just clicking return will bring you back out to the previous panel. Over here we have the model browser, and this will have a kind of a hierarchy tree and other showing the different features and parts of your part. And down here we have the status bar, and also there's a command window you can bring up, view command window, and sometimes it'll do that. There it goes. So, but in this case we don't really need it. It'll just take up more of our viewing space. So yeah, starting HyperWorks, and that's about it for the first one. For controlling the display, the second tutorial that we have that's due next week, HM 1040, it tells you to open a file, which is the bumper.hm file, which is in, we've emailed out. So I also just dropped it here in the groups folder of the 471.
For the BYU students?
For the BYU students. So it should just be, the easiest thing would just be to download it and run it from there. Okay, so here's our part. And so the first couple things it talks about manipulating the model through the mouse controls. So the way you do it in HyperMesh, if you're going to select something, like select an element, if I did this, if I want to select elements, then you just use left click. And then to deselect elements, you use the right click. If you hold shift, then you can drag a window and select a lot, or shift right click will deselect. So if I want to select all of these and deselect a little bit, I can do that. This down here, when you're selecting something, then it's going to have this cyan highlighted on the yellow thing. So I'm going to be selecting elements. I won't select any lines or solids or anything. If I want to change what I want to select, I click that button and it'll bring up all the different possibilities of stuff. So elements, lines, systs are systems like coordinates and stuff. So there's a lot of different things. So elements, and if you set the left button, the right button will deselect everything you have selected. So if I have some selected and I click this, it'll deselect everything. And then in the middle, then you can use filters. So if you click on this, it'll bring up this window, and you just push the mouse off, then it'll get rid of it. And so this helps selection filters. So if I want to do all like the ones that are displayed, it selects all the elements that are displayed. If you have more that are hidden, then it doesn't select those. Or here's another thing. If I want to click, say I select a few here, and I say by adjacent, it'll also select all those that are adjacent to the ones that are selected. So if I do that again, it'll do those adjacent to that. So this is a good way to filter and select which ones. I can say by collector, and I want to do the green one, mid, select, and now I've selected all those. So that's how you select and deselect when you have things. To rotate and everything, you have to hold the control button, and then if you right click, or if you left click, it'll rotate it. If you right click, it'll pan, and if you use the scroll button, it'll scroll. That's the easiest way I've found to manipulate panning, zooming, and rotating. So you do that while you're holding the control button. Otherwise, if you use, it'll select stuff and deselect it.
How did you get into that selection tool?
Into the selection? Oh, well, I just hit